What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stephen J, and I'm here with Simply Steve, and we're talking about wrestling, WWE, WWF, WCW, AWA, UWF, and we may just talk a little TNA. So we're gonna kick it off. The Monday Night Raw last night happened. We're gonna talk about that, but I'm just gonna start off real quick. I was channel surfing. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I was channel surfing. I'm eating right now because I just got off home from work. Anyway, so I'm channel surfing, and what do I see? I see a movie that John Cena actually played in years ago. I think it was 12 rounds. Yeah, 12 rounds.
I'm not sure what movie it was.
It was where he was a cop and somebody got kidnapped.
12 rounds.
And so there was I just turned it to a particular scene where I guess, I don't know who it was, but somebody close to him got kidnapped. And his partner,
I think it was his wife or his girlfriend.
And his partner, who was a black guy, our actual actor, was trying to console him, like, nah, it's not your fault, and this, that, and the other. And John Cena turned to him and gave him this look like, it is my fault. If I should have been there, and they would have got kidnapped. But now look at it, oh my fault. And so it immediately clicked in my head. Where did I see something like that? It was last Monday night on Raw. Well, he was up there with Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and Shawn Michaels. I said, and as soon as I saw that scene, I immediately turned it afterwards. But I said, this is the exact reason why we don't like John Cena. Why the majority of the WWE universe can't stand John Cena is because he doesn't give it his all to make me want to believe that this is what he's doing. That he's really into it. You believe Stone Cold didn't like Vince McMahon. You believe he didn't care. You believe D-Generation X just didn't give care for authority and they were just going to do something funny or to blow your mind or whatever. You believe The Rock when he did his thing. You believed it. They all made you part of it, but you believed it. John Cena, that's the problem. He doesn't make you feel like you're a part of it. He doesn't make you believe that anything that what he says. So watching that scene, I was like, wow, he just did that last Monday night on Raw, trying to convince everybody that he's gonna beat Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions. And I'm just like, that's exactly why, because number one, he can't act. But the acting that he's doing, that he's putting off on Monday nights at Smackdown and the pay-per-views, is bad acting, and that's why everybody doesn't like him, because they said you can't wrestle because you're acting like you're a wrestler and you're not. You got the look, you got the physique. Charity work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, again, you are by far the best there was, the best there ever will be. But as far as wrestling, again, that is why, because nobody believes. He's unbelievable. You just can't believe him when he speaks, and that's why it's just like, is this guy serious?
Maybe he should get some lessons from Bo Dallas so we can start believing in them.
Yeah, he need to get some lessons from somebody. Matter of fact, the person he should actually get some lessons from is the greatest there is when it came to mic skills. That's The Rock. Talk to The Rock.
Well, when those two was going at it, Rock was being serious, or Rock was joking, they both joking around. Cena was rapping at him, and Rock was just going out on the way he does best.
So apparently, I just kicked off Raw.
Okay, so Raw kicks off with Chris Jericho, and it's supposed to be Randy Orton on the highlight reel, but instead we get the Authority. We get Triple H, Seth Rollins, Corporate Kane, and Randy Orton. So they come out and they're basically just like, Triple H and Chris Jericho kind of cracking jokes with each other for a little bit, and then he's like, okay, so John Cena's supposed to face Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions. He's supposed to rematch clause, but I don't think it's best for business if Cena does go through this, because
I didn't watch that part. I think I came in afterward. But when
in between.
But when he said that, did the fans cheer? Or did they boo?
I believe they did. Some of them cheered. It was half and half. You know how it is. So they're like, it's not best for business. And he's like, maybe we should need someone else to refill that spot. And, you know, Chris Jericho was like, well, who do you think it should be? You know, Randy Orton was like, it should be him. You know, Viper, 12-time world champion. Which, you know, I would like to see Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar. I think it could be entertaining. And then Kane was like, you know, maybe I should be the one. And Chris Jericho threw his name and he's like, he should be the one.
The Viper's 12 times?
Yeah. So
Kane said he should be the one?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So that's when Cena comes out and he's like, how are you gonna give away my championship opportunity? He's like, I deserve another shot at Brock Lesnar. You gave me my shot, and if you don't, I'm gonna sue you, take you to court, become the COO, then I'm gonna fire you.
Yeah, I saw that. When I saw that, I walked away from it because I was like, this is the reason why nobody don't like you now. How you gonna come out? If you don't give it to me, I ain't gonna beat you up. I ain't gonna attack you. I'm gonna sue you.
You know, he did bring up, he was like, you know, you just always been jealous of me because I did what Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels said I wouldn't do, and that to beat you, make you tap out, which he did. He tapped out, which you can see on the WWE Network for just $9.99. But it was crazy because he was like, John Cena's gonna sue him? This just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, then Roman Reigns comes out and he's like, if you're talking about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, my name should be in that. And so all 6 of them was going at each other, and Triple H was like, you know what? 6-man tag team match tonight, and Cena, you better prove to me that you're ready for Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions.
Which I don't think he did. So let's go ahead and skip to the main event. Do you think Cena proved that he should fight Brock Lesnar? He didn't get the pin. Roman Reigns did. He could
have pinned him. But Roman was like, tag me, let me finish it.
Okay. How bad do you want it?
Well, he did came in there and he took out.
If you want it bad enough, then you're gonna sit there and like, nah, I got this. Bump you, Roman Reigns. Your time is coming, but my time is now. And I would have did something like this, you can't see me, and then did the AA on whoever the guy he did the AA on. You don't sit there and tag him and then get out of the ring and get in Triple H. Look what I did. Is that proof enough? Man, get the heck out of here.
Well, let's get it. Chris Jericho, Roman Reigns getting beat up. Finally, John Cena hasn't been in the whole match. He gets to like 3 minutes.
Hold on.
He takes out
your typical Cena. Everyone's getting beat up, or he's getting beat up for 90 minutes, and all of a sudden he has this super miraculous.
Well,
somebody threw the kryptonite away, and all of a sudden he turned into Superman and he dispatched everyone.
Well, remember, he hasn't been in the match yet, so he tagged him in crowd type or women or kids or height, you know, do this little shoulder block thing. Alright, he's taking out Randy Orton, he's taking out Seth Rollins, or rather, everyone else took him out. Cena hits the AA on Kane.
This food is good, thanks to my wife, I'm telling you. And these ribs are good.
And allowed Roman Reigns to finish it off. But to answer his earlier question, do I think Cena is ready? The question is, I don't think you can ever be ready for Brock Lesnar.
Well, the question is, it ain't about if he's ready or not. Do you want to see it? No!
Okay.
That's the question. Do you want to see Brock Lesnar and John Cena part 2? No!
Okay, no. But is he entitled to a rematch?
Because
yes.
When is Night of Champions?
In 3 weeks.
Okay. So unless they're going to do some hype building, and the only way you can do hype building is you get run-ins. Brock's beating up somebody, Cena runs in, or whatever.
Well, we got sort of that Hogan's birthday celebration, but she was like, don't nobody want to see John Cena.
Okay, again, because you're standing there with Hulk Hogan, the whole NWO, Ric Flair, all these legends. Come on, you don't need John Cena to do a run-in to save nobody. We ain't talking about if he's beating up Chavo, he beating up the little bull boy. If he's beating up Hornswoggle, okay, send John Cena to help him. He's beating up one of the divas, send John Cena in to help him. If he's beating up Jerry the King or Michael Cole, send John Cena in to help. But you don't want to see that.
Exactly. So
well, first of all, you knew you were going to see a rematch anyway.
Because it's for the title, so obviously Cena's entitled to a rematch.
I hope he really gets screwed. I really do. And that way he has no more claim. And then it should go back how it always is. You got your title shot. You lost. You go back to the bottom of the barrel. So that leaves Roman Reigns, Randy Orton.
Okay, so here's the question. Cena goes and he loses. I won't say someone interfered. I would say more of, it's just, you know, here's how I predict Night of Champions gonna go. I'm gonna say Cena's gonna try. It's not gonna be like SummerSlam. It's not gonna be like that. He'll actually try. Let's say it'll be a normal going back and forth kind of thing. Brock Lesnar hits the F5 and it's over. Okay, normal championship match. With Cena,
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
It's not gonna be like SummerSlam.
It's gonna start off just like that. Brock gonna do the F5 on Cena. Cena's gonna do his little miraculous, I'm better than this, and get up, and it's just gonna be whatever, and he's gonna get the title back and win or whatever. Bull crap.
Well, here's the thing. Say Cena loses. Well, Brock's not gonna lose. He just got the title. Okay, first, number one. Number two, he can't lose the title on a less important pay-per-view like Night of Champions. It would have to be at one of the big four.
Ric Flair lost his belt, not even on TV. It was at a house show. He lost to Bret Hart. So nobody actually saw when Ric Flair lost his title. All we know is when Raw came on that night, they said that somewhere in Charlotte, North Carolina, Ric Flair was the champion and he lost to Bret Hart. They didn't show no replay of it. They didn't show no highlights of it. No, I think they showed stills of it. And they showed Bret Hart with his hands up. But other than that, we never saw it. And Ric Flair went back to WCW.
Well, this is Brock Lesnar we're talking about, so.
I'm just saying.
Guys.
You just said he's not going to lose the title on a non-important pay-per-view.
Exactly.
I'm telling you that multiple guys have lost titles on non-pay-per-views.
Okay, but how can you have the guy who decimated John Cena, the guy who's been on the who's been on top of the business for over 10 years, losing a minuscule pay-per-view? How are you gonna have the guy who beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania lose on a minuscule pay-per-view? On a pay-per-view that doesn't even matter.
Well, Night of Champions is starting to. Night of Champions used to be every champion, whoever held the title,
every championship on the line.
Recently, in these last couple pay-per-views, not everyone's been defending their title. Tag team title wasn't defended last pay-per-view. The Intercontinental title wasn't defended. Well, yeah, it was. He lost to Dolph Ziggler. Or what's the other belt? Sheamus belt.
The U.S. title?
The U.S. title wasn't defended in the last pay-per-view. So again, you never know.
Well, okay. Well, we all know that Cena's gonna either equalize or surpass Ric Flair's record. But I don't think it'll be anytime soon.
Nobody wants to see it. And
it's gonna happen. So it doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter.
Nobody wants to see that. And it's not the fact that because we like Ric Flair so much. It's just that we just don't think John Cena has deserved all 15.
Well, the guy who has won 16 thinks he deserves it.
Ric Flair's a kiss butt. Ask any wrestler. He's a kiss butt. Anything he can do to get on TV that's going to sound right for the company, Ric Flair's going to do it. Love him? Woo! But he's a kiss butt. And I heard it in WCW. I heard it in WWE. And I heard it in TNA. Ric Flair is a kiss butt.
Well, what about Hulk Hogan? He said the same thing.
What?
That Cena's gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm sure he is gonna do it, but again,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I would rather see.
It doesn't matter if he doesn't deserve it. It's gonna happen.
I would rather see Randy Orton do it.
He's gonna have to win 4 more titles.
Hey, what he should do is have a. Never mind. Let's just go.
Alright, let's see what happens on Raw. Alright, so then we had the first match, Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz and Cesaro. It was an okay match, pretty good.
How many world titles has Edge won?
11.
11?
Yes. The Miz and Cesaro ended up winning because of a distraction from Miz's stunt double, the Damien Sandow.
Mizdow. Damien Mizdow.
Yeah, Damien Mizdow.
Again, this guy.
I guess he's sticking with this for a while.
Mind you, last year, was it last year? Yeah, last year, he was the Money in the Bank winner.
Mm-hmm.
Money in the Bank winner. And he couldn't even get a pay-per-view. He lost it on Raw. All of a sudden, he gained some confidence or whatever, and he accepted John Cena's challenge, and he lost. Although it was a pretty good match, but he still lost. But again,
He came close, but he lost.
I don't think he came close.
Sort of. Alright, then we had we call it the Total Divas have a tag match on Raw, but it just
Edge only won it 9 times. He was 9 times World Heavyweight Champion, 5 times World Heavyweight Champion, and 4 times WWE Champion.
Edge has won it 11 times.
I'm telling you what I'm reading off of Wikipedia.
That is not Wikipedia, that is Yahoo.
Well, this is what Yahoo says.
That is old. You gotta go on Wiki.
Let's see, Edge wrestler. All right.
He's won the World Heavyweight Championship 7 times and the WWE Championship 4 times.
Okay, 11. He was WWE Champion 4 times and World Heavyweight Champion 7 times. All right. What else happened?
Alright, so then we had the Big Show and Mark Henry versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. It looked like
The match was okay. Again,
they've been going on for
I've been
back-
calling for this tag team to happen for a while. But even Big Show confronted Mark Henry about, yo, you in this Rusev thing or whatever, it's going to take away from the tag team.
Yeah, he was like, we got the opportunity to be the greatest tag team of all time in WWE history. And he was like, I know, but you don't kick nobody in the face and just walk away from it. You know Mark Henry's going to try to come back and get some payback. They're probably going to fight at Night of Champions.
I think Big Show would have been,
He could knock out Rusev and that can be it.
I think, well, again, Mark Henry's bigger than Rusev, but I think Big Show would have been the next choice to go up against Rusev because Jack stinks. And I'm with JBL on this. You let me down, Jack. You just let me down. Not only me, but you let the country, the superpower of the United States of America down.
You got some guy getting deported.
When you let Rusev beat you not once, but like 3 times. I mean, come on.
4.
Jeez. He disgraced to the American. I want to take his citizenship away from you now.
A little kid who used to be your idol wants to be like Vladimir Putin. Anyway.
But back to that match. I think they match up pretty, even though they're slow, because you can't help Big Show and Mark, they're both slow. But Rowan and Harper, they're actually pretty quick for some big guys. But it still match up pretty well because size and speed. Because Harper and Rowan can go fast when they need to go fast, and they can also go slow like Big Show and Mark Henry. But they do match up real well. Although I like the Big Show. They don't have a tag team name yet. They should. I still want to see Harper and Rowan win a title before Big Show and Mark Henry. Because the Usos are on the verge of possibly becoming the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history. To a point, I think they deserve it.
They do. They worked hard to get those titles, and when they finally got it, they were like, yes. And then for a while, their championship reign was kind of boring. But then when they started feuding with the Wyatt family,
exactly,
they got back up there.
That's why they should lose and win it back and lose. Back.
All right. So then Paul Heyman came out and was talking about. What is he here? It was basically just like, John Cena, do you really believe yourself what you're saying about you're ready? and everything like that, and Brock Lesnar is gonna just decimate you again and whatever.
Paul Heyman is a good seller. He can sell that piece of land that's a swamp and sell it as an estate. Even though Brock has zero mic skills, he has mic skills when he's doing the promo and he's talking whatever.
When he's getting interviewed.
But as far as him standing in front of the audience and talking, that's not him. I think he's a silent beast, a silent killer, or whatever. But Paul Heyman, he does a great job.
Alright, so then we had Jack Swagger versus Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel tapped out, and Bo Dallas.
And Zed is back.
Oh yes, he's back. Bo Dallas on the stage with a couple of people, and it's like, these are the people that you let down when you lost to Rusev at SummerSlam.
I don't understand this feud. So I guess because he lost 4 straight times to Rusev, it's just over. Because the people technically are still with Jack.
They are. I mean,
they are still with Jack.
So but be with him.
No, but he sucks as a face. He only's appealing when he goes up against Rusev, not against McGillicuddy. He's not. It's like we like saying we the people with his ugly shirt on. But I don't want to. Him and Bo Dumb, I just I don't get the feud. Okay,
he's the Bo Lee.
Now if he was trading Jack, Jack lost his confidence and he's teaching him how to believe again and stuff like that. Okay, I can understand that. And then Jack breaks away from him, whatever. He gets his confidence back, then he goes back after Rusev. But the whole feuding him and him making fun of him and stuff like that, that's just stupid.
Alright, so then we had Adam Rose versus Titus O'Neil, and outside of the ring, the Bunny and Heath Slater got into it.
Well, I used to, we lived in Delaware, there's a radio station called WIP out of Philadelphia. And anytime someone called in and said they saw somebody famous, whether it was a celebrity or an athlete, they would call in and say, hey, I got a sighting. And then they would play this music. A sighting? Well, we had a sighting on Monday Night Raw. And that was Adam Rose. Lord knows we thought he was dead holding a rose. But he showed up. And again, I read this report that they're not happy with his character. And they were thinking about scrapping him and sending him back to NXT and doing it all over again.
They can't do that. I mean, all this hype they put on him with the Exotic Express and the parties and everything.
Hold on. They can get rid of the Exotic Express. That part sucks and stupid. I love his music. The fans love his music because they're involved with it when they go, hey, he can do his little run-in and stuff like that. Personally, I would like him to stick him with one of the divas. Have him be a manager or something like that. But the character of Adam Rose or whatever,
I don't really mind.
I think he can be a face. I still think he reminds me a lot of Chris Jericho. His physique, his attitude, his mannerism, his character, and how he wrestled reminds me a lot of Chris Jericho. As Lionheart Chris Jericho when he was in WCW. But I was glad to see him back on television. Who did he face again?
Titus O'Neil.
Titus O'Neil. We don't know what the heck happened at him.
Anyway, so then we had Zack Ryder versus Rusev. Match was over in about 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, poor Zack. But if you get the paycheck, and matter of fact, how much does Zack Ryder make? How much does wrestler Zack Ryder make?
Anyway, then they were standing there celebrating, and Mark Henry comes out, and he's like, "Why you ready? Why you ready?" And he basically like, he said he's opening back up the Hall of Pain, and he's gonna be the first inductee.
International wing.
Oh, international wing. Then we had Stephanie McMahon come out.
Oh wow! Says Alberto Del Rio was making $675,000. Big Show was making $1 million, Brodus Clay was 170,000. Christian was 595. CM Punk was 1.2. Cody Rhodes. Hold up. Well, okay. Cody Rhodes was making 495. Daniel Bryan, this is 1,000. Daniel Bryan's making 620,000. Darren Young is making 80,000. I don't even like Darren Young, but that's still pretty good. Dolph Ziggler's making 540,000. Jack Swagger's only making 319. He was the world heavyweight champion at one point. Jinder Mahal was making 75,000. John Cena's making 2.75. Kane's making 905,000. Kofi Kingston only making 254,000. That's shocking. Mark Henry is making 877, but he signed like a 10-year contract. So Randy Orton's making 1.6. Rey Mysterio was making 985. Sheamus is making $1 million. All right, The Miz is making 700. Hold up, the Great Khali is making $974,000. For what? Is he speaking in tongues or something?
Alright, just get to the part that everyone wants to know about. How much Undertaker making wrestling what match a year?
Oh my god. Zack Ryder's making 135,000. That's pretty, again, if you're not doing anything and you're getting paid $135 for doing nothing, shoot.
They're getting beat up every week on Raw.
Jerry Lawler makes 500 grand. Booker T makes 477. Michael Cole makes 549. Nothing on the Undertaker. None of the divas make that much. Alicia Fox is 72,000. AJ Lee makes 104. Beth Phoenix, well, she's no longer. Eve was making 109. Layla was 86. Natalia was making 74,000. Wow, the divas don't get paid at all. The Undertaker is not on here.
He gonna take it on here. Wrestling one match a year, won't even know he getting paid.
Let me see. Google knows. How much does the Undertaker make? Alberto. Alright, go to the next one because this is going to be a minute because I hate when they go slides. It sucks.
Alright, so we had Stephanie McMahon come out and she awarded Nikki Bella a Divas title opportunity. And AJ comes out and she's like, you can't give her a title opportunity because as former champion, I have a right to a title opportunity. Which she's right, just as much as John Cena deserves or deserves another title shot since he lost the championship. Then Paige comes out. Nikki's sister Brie comes out. You know, they're getting into it. Brie finally, I'm glad. I was gonna say this. I'm glad she's done crying and finally decided to fight back because I was getting sick and tired of her coming out every week and leaving crying because her sister's turned on her. So that's pretty much what's going on with that right there.
Isaac Yanko. I didn't really care for that. Again, the whole segment. Oh, she stole my boyfriend. She stole my license. Got into a car accident. This is stupid.
All right. So if you weren't sure last week if Gold and Stardust finally turned heel, you pretty much got that this week because they came in the ring and they were like, "Look, we're sorry." At least they tried to say they're sorry, but the Usos, they started fighting and it was going back and forth kind of with Goldust and Jimmy Uso until a distraction, and Goldust would pick up the win. So they're probably gonna have another title opportunity at Night of Champions. But besides all that, they jumped Jey Uso. And his leg was already injured, and they injured it some more with a chair shot against the steel post.
So obviously you got a feud between these guys. And personally, I'm not interested in it, because if you judge it based off of the last feud the Usos had with the Wyatts, it's coming up a bit short. I mean, your Light Goldust and Stardust, they kind of fell in the middle for me. They're not really a heel, but they're not really a face. They're more so a Stone Colder,
but they're so colder. I mean,
but they're entertaining because they really hasn't had that label. Now that they've attacked the Usos, we'll see next week. Now, once they turn on the fans, then they'll be officially becoming a heel.
Alright, so then we already talked about the main event earlier on and what happened and what on down there. But I think what Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole and them were saying was, I think more so instead of John Cena trying to prove it to everybody, he's more so trying to prove it to himself that he's ready to face Brock Lesnar again at Night of Champions. If he's going to, I mean, he got a rematch, but Triple H saying no, it's not best for business. He's like, people are getting tired of seeing you with the title, so I don't think you should get it anymore. But it's also bad for business, you know, if your career ends at the hands of Brock Lesnar, and that's not good.
Well, again,
I mean, think about it. John Cena's the face of the company, and if the face, it technically kind of is bad for business.
What?
John Cena ended his career right now because there's no one to replace him right now. Roman Reigns is not ready yet. Randy Orton's with the authority. Daniel Bryan's hurt.
That's why we are all screwed up the way it is, because of Daniel Bryan.
CM Punk's gone. Because CM Punk, I think he could have replaced Cena as the next face of the company. So right, I agree with Triple H. If Cena had to retire right now, but I had to Brock Lesnar, it would be bad for business because there'd be no one to replace him.
Who I personally think it is. The top richest wrestlers in the world right now, and this was as of 2 years ago. The Rock at $65 million, Stone Cold at $40 million, The Undertaker at $34 million. It says apparently the streak is more worth than you think. The Undertaker has been in WWE since '91, has dedicated his life to filling. He says and has significantly transitioned into movies or any ventures. He is constantly drawn for 20 years, which offsets his other financial opportunities. So I guess he was making, Undertaker makes a lot of money.
He don't really break character. I mean, you don't really see him at all. I mean, you see him, you get a glimpse of him on that, like a leaked picture on the internet or something. He did the ice bucket challenge, so.
See the problem? Did he?
Yeah, he did.
I didn't see that.
Oh,
but
it's on YouTube, but it's really dark, so you can't see him.
Well, here's my problem with it, is that maybe he actually believes he's the Undertaker, how Ultimate Warrior actually thought he was actually a god from Olympus. Maybe he actually thinks
I don't think so. I mean,
you'd be surprised. Anyway, so what's the next?
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Alright, so lowdown from Smackdown. Oh, so while he's looking that up, I've been watching for $9.99 the WWE Network. I'm still contemplating if I'm going to get a review. Renew. I got an email asking me to renew. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet. But I got to tell you, I've been watching. I really do miss the Attitude Era.
I've been watching that too. It's been on the Monday Night Wars. It seems pretty interesting.
Here's my question.
I'm mad I was born during it.
Who is the main reason for WWF taking over winning the Monday Night Wars?
I can tell you right now.
DX, Stone Cold, or The Rock?
I can tell you right now. Just to watch.
Hold on. Because each one all had their part in it. We know Stone Cold was birthed. Austin 316 was birthed at the King of the Ring. We know The Rock was birthed after he took over the nation. We know DX was birthed. I don't even know how. Well, I think
I just watched how
somebody called them degenerates.
Bret Hart.
Yeah. and the next week they came out as D-Generation X or whatever. So kind of like things just fall in line because they didn't really have the name Generation X, and so he's like, you degenerates or whatever. So let's call it D-Generation X. So looking at, I was watching D-Generation X, and they had a lot to do with it. But here's one point: it started off as Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels got hurt. I actually remember that match between him and the Undertaker when his back hit the casket like that. I remember that, and I was like, oh man, his back is messed up. But it was okay. But it really, and even after Shawn lost to Stone Cold to win the title, and Triple H took over DX, when Triple H brought in X-Pac, it still wasn't as funny as when it was him and Shawn. It was just, I thought Triple H wasn't really doing a good job or whatever, is the way I looked at it. But when he brought in the New Age Outlaws is when it really took off, because the New Age Outlaws was just as high or just as big as the Generation X, because they was technically doing the same kind of things. And I actually liked it when they started tag teaming together, because Billy Gunn left his brother. That's a shame though. A lot of these guys that are brothers growing up in the ring, because Billy Gunn and what's his Bart Gunn?
I don't know.
Billy and Bart. That was the Smoking Guns. Billy Gunn and his brother Bart.
I don't know.
Anyway, he left. So he tagged with the Road Dogg, and that's how they became the New Age Outlaws. But it wasn't, for me, it wasn't until the New Age Outlaws joined DX that they really, because you already have Road Dogg and Billy Gunn that had the fans doing their things. But once they joined up against with Triple H and X-Pac and China, that's when it really, really got off that. You kind of like stop looking at WCW, see what's DX going to do now.
Now see, here's the thing though, right? He said, who's responsible for the most success? It has to be, I'm going to have to go, it's going to have to be DX. And here's why. Because like he said, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he started it. He started getting people to pay attention to WWE, because WWE was a family-based kind of program. They were doing silly stuff like clowns and farmers and all this stuff like that. And then all of a sudden you had guys like the Stone Cold Steve Austin come, The Rock, The Undertaker, then you had DX. But when DX came, it was like they're doing all this stuff that's like really inappropriate, but at the same time it's really entertaining and funny, and you're just like, I wonder what they're going to do next. So I think it's because of DX, that's when the ratings started going from WCW to WWE, and that's when they started winning.
I think
because of DX.
The whole thing, I did not know that Kevin Nash were behind the door when they went to DX went to WCW. That he was like, Kevin Nash said we was right behind it. He said I was standing right behind the door when they were banging and talking. He's like, I kept trying to convince the guy to open up the door. He said, but they wouldn't open up the door. And he was like, I thought that was funny. I did not know that, but I will give the slight edge to D-Generation X. If I'll say D-Generation X was a 10, I got to give Stone Cold a 9.5. I got to give The Rock a 9.5 as well. But I will say that they were the catalyst that got him over WCW. But then The Rock just took it, that everybody wanted to be insulted by just how like everybody wanted to be in NWO and WCW. Oh, let me join because you were getting the most face time. Now it was, oh, let me come out to The Rock so he can insult me. I just want him to insult me because he insults you well and make everyone laugh. So The Rock, the X went across that line first, but then The Rock transcended that.
One of the funny things they did was when they mimicked Nation Domination when I saw it on that. I thought that was funny. Especially
I remember that. I didn't really like it at first because X-Pac painted his face black to do Mizark Henry, but the whole thing, I think it was the Road Dogg that was trying to do, who was he trying to, oh, he was being the Godfather, and I forgot, who was the other guy that was trying to do that was doing Owen Hart. I don't know who that was doing Owen Hart, but it was funny.
Okay, so for SmackDown opened up with Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. They were getting into it, and it looked like Roman Reigns was gonna win. That's when Luke Harper and Eric Rowan got involved, and the DQ, and then that's when Big Show and Mark Henry came out. So then it was decided that it was gonna be a 6-man later on in the event. I'm getting really fucking tired of getting jumped in the match, and then all of a sudden later, we're gonna have a 6-man tag team match. I don't want to see that every single time. How about we just ban people from the ringside and just let them fight?
Who was fighting?
Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt.
Who? So it ended up being a 6-man.
Yeah.
Oh well, who came? Oh, Big Show.
Mark Henry.
Yeah. That's just. It's really just a remake of the Usos and John Cena versus the Wyatt. So I don't really like that. The Wyatt family is losing some of its flair right now because all because of Daniel Bryan. Bray Wyatt needs to feud with John Cena. He is the anti-Cena.
All right, well, he can't go right back out to him right after the bat. So here's the thing.
Oh, I think he did. Since John Cena kind of embarrassed him that last week, Bray Wyatt needs to come back. Don't you think I forgot about you? and go back after Cena.
After he
starts all over again.
After he's done with Jericho and the steel cage match on Raw. But that's what one of the things I was gonna say. After Cena loses to Brock at Night of Champions, what's Cena gonna do? Because it's like, okay, he's not in the WWE title picture anymore. He's not gonna be there for a while. So what's he gonna be doing? I'm thinking he already feuded with Bray Wyatt. Ain't never else really for him to do. All right, so then we had RVD versus Seth Rollins, and of course Seth Rollins won again. Then we had Paige versus Emma, and Paige won. And then AJ came out and tried to give, I think, Emma some chocolate or something like that. It was just some stupid stuff. Some chocolate, I don't even know. So then we had Rusev versus Swagger in a submission match. And looks like Swagger was about to come out of the accolade when Bo Dallas was doing the white towel. And he helped Rusev get the accolade back in position, and Swagger finally tapped out.
Oh wow, the Holy Land is free admission to the park tomorrow. I might go to Holy Land tomorrow.
Then we had Jimmy Uso versus Stardust, and Stardust lost. Jimmy Uso won. Then we had Damien Mizdow versus Sheamus. Sheamus ended up winning. He was going to attack the Miz, but the Miz got away. Dolph Ziggler threw Miz back in the ring, but Miz got away again.
Smackdown hasn't really been good for me lately. I haven't watched it, but
I don't know why. I saw it recorded on Friday, but when I went to go watch it, it wasn't on the DVR, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was like, so then we had the Wyatt family versus Roman Reigns, Mark Henry, Big Show, and Big Show and Wyatt, Mark Henry and Roman Reigns won. So, and that was the end of the night for SmackDown right there. But before we go off, I do want to say I read an article today on Bleacher Report, and it says actually that Brock Lesnar being as a part-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion is actually good for the championship, because as a champion you're supposed to be there every week to support the company, to promote it, to go do, interviews and all that, and that's just not Brock Lesnar. That's just not what he does. He comes, he goes. He appears one day on Raw before his pay-per-view match, and then he goes wrestle at the pay-per-view. I agree with it said by Brock Lesnar not being there. It just gives more hype up for the match that he's going to have, and it gives more. What do you call it? Gives people wanting the match more than if the champion was there every week. Wants demanding more. So that's my thought. Agree on that.
Anytime you go against Cena,
Not just against Cena, but just
okay.
anyway.
Well, again, right now, you said Roman Reigns isn't ready. Nobody's ever ready. It's what you do when the moment is presented to you.
What they're trying to do is just do the same thing they did last year with Daniel Bryan. Just wait for WrestleMania to come. Roman Reigns wins the title.
Okay,
and
that's stupid. Daniel Bryan
was going to pull that off.
Hold on. No, but Daniel Bryan wasn't ready. It's just.
What do you mean?
Hold on. He sees the moment because just like Zack, what's his name? Zack Ryder did. He built his own momentum when he started doing the yes thing, and then that died down. But once it came back, yes, and after 2 months, people were still chanting yes. Then after 5 months, they were still saying yes. 6 months, they're still saying yes. Wait a minute, we got something here now. Let's market it. Let's see how good the fans' response is. Yes. So now let's give him a shot and see what happens. What we can do with it. And he took the bull by the horns, and he ran with it. And I think you give Roman Reigns a shot to see. He's not a good speaker. He does not have great mic skills, but neither did Daniel Bryan. It's about what you do in the ring. Goldberg did not have good mic skill. 2 words. You're next. That was it. Stone Cold had adequate mic skills. The Rock, the best there is. Roman Reigns, you give him the title, you give him a shot. Bray Wyatt, again, you give him the shot. I don't think. Look at what Alberto Del Rio did. He came in, feuded with Rey Mysterio. He lost. He got a shot at the title. He won the title.
And then he lost.
And no, he lost. But again, he put on a show. And the show, oh, this guy's really good. Give him a shot. All you need is a shot. You're looking at guys and say, oh, he's not ready here. You're not. Give him the shot to show you that he's ready.
It's funny.
Nobody thought Randy Orton was ready when he won the title, but he proved everybody wrong.
They just, for some reason now, the WWE just doesn't like to take risks. But it's funny though because I told him he was stupid for this, but okay, first of all, we know that Roman Reigns is going to replace John Cena as the face of the company. But Adi seems to think that he's going to do that now because, what do you call it? He sort of agreed with you because he told me he's like, the WWE just can't say he's not ready yet if he doesn't give him a chance. But think of guys who weren't ready yet when they thought they were. Jack Swagger. When he won the World Heavyweight Championship, they thought he was ready. Mm-hmm. His championship reign sucked. Kane, I remember he won the WWE Championship and then he lost it the next night. So, I mean, if you think he's ready, then he's ready. I mean, they've been proven wrong in the past when they thought somebody was ready.
They've been proven wrong, Jack Swagger being one. But Jack Swagger had a long run, probably at least 3, maybe 6 months as champion when he feuded with Big Show.
It had to be at least like 3 because I remember he fought Big Show like a couple of times. Then he lost to it by Rey Mysterio, and then Kane became the World Heavyweight Champion after he cashed in his Money in the Bank. And Kane had a successful title run. Then of course he went back to Edge, but you know his reign only lasted about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, but he couldn't do anything with the title. Therefore, I mean, yeah, you don't like that, but then I think you have the good outweighs the bad. You have more guys that were able to do something with the title than you had guys that weren't able to do anything.
I guess a great example you could give, as much you don't want to admit it, would be John Cena.
I don't think John Cena's done well with the title.
Okay, I'm pretty sure at WrestleMania 21, a lot of people were really happy when he won that title from JBL.
Nah, I would disagree.
I remember he jumped in the crowd. People was like, yeah. I don't think there was many Cena sex signs then.
Well, JBL was the ultimate heel. He was just anti-authority. He was like the Vince McMahon. And people wanted to see him. And John Cena at the time was still like the coming off the doctor of thugonomics. So, I mean, it was alright.
Well, here's what I think. I don't know what's going to happen after Night of Champions. I don't know who Brock Lesnar's going to face. It could be Cesaro, a former Paul Heyman guy. It could be Randy Orton, who's finally breaking away from the authority. It could be Bray Wyatt, Big Show, Mark Henry. I don't know. But all I know is Brock Lesnar will be champion until WrestleMania, where he'll lose to whoever. Most likely Roman Reigns.
Or Daniel Bryan, depending on what he comes back with. If he comes back with the same flair.
Okay, like you said, they're doing the reason why they did the whole Stephanie and Brie feud was so people will still be doing the yes chants and everything like that. So people can remember Daniel Bryan because he hasn't been on TV. Last time we saw Daniel Bryan was at Money in the Bank. So that was over 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's rumored that he's supposed to come back in November if he's ready by then. But I think the best time would be Royal Rumble. He comes back, he wins the Royal Rumble, or either him or Roman Reigns. One of those two is going to have to go after the title.
I think, again, well, speaking of the Attitude Era, you had so many top guys during that time. The Rock, you had Stone Cold, that was the two top guys. Then you had D-Generation X and Triple H. You got to throw him in the mix. As far
because
as
of Stephanie and Vince,
of course. But that's why I said D-Generation X, because you had the three that was at the top. Right now, you don't have that, but you have the potential. And a lot of people say, "Oh, bring the Attitude Era back. Bring the Attitude Era back."
I don't think
the Attitude Era
can't come back.
The Attitude. It's technically it was a lightning in a bottle, or what it was. But you still had unique. Who knew The Rock can talk like he did? Who knew Stone Cold Austin 316 was going to take off? Who knew DX was going to take off like it did? Nobody knew. It's just something. Hey, let's try it, see what happens, and it actually worked. But they all, again, like I said, DX was at the top of their fame, so was the New Age Outlaws. Now you put them together, they blew up even more than that. So you got guys, if you look back and you base it now off of the guys from the Attitude Era, and you look at Roman Reigns, you look at Bray Wyatt, you look at Daniel Bryan, you look at John Cena, you look at Randy Orton, those are, to me, and I keep forgetting, if he can stay healthy, Wade Barrett. If he stays healthy, the guy is really good.
Well, the other guy his World Championship.
I don't want to say Sheamus yet. The same Sheamus is just boring. But speaking of those three, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and Bray Wyatt.
Well, Bray Wyatt, I don't know what he needs to do, but he was up there, but he needs to find a way to get back up there.
It's because you need to feud him with John Cena. Because John Cena is the ultimate face for the company that nobody likes because he just sucks. But you have these three guys. Well, we know, I can't say Daniel Bryan because he's already been a champion. But Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, they have so much potential that you've seen. You didn't think they would be all right on their own.
Even Cesaro.
Cesaro's going down. 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I would say yes, Cesaro. But not now. He's just falling off.
Going down too.
He's going down, but not as far as Cesaro has.
Okay.
But no, my point is that they have potential to be like it was as far as, man, you got so many top guys. And here's the one thing that I saw that Billy Gunn said on the Monday Night Wars. He said, we will go out and we would do something. And we would have a great match. Or we have a great segment. And we would come back in the back, behind the locker rooms, and we would just be bragging like, now go out there and top that. And he said, he was like, if we saw somebody went out there and do something, we were challenged to go back out there and top what they did. You don't have that right now, which is why the last couple pay-per-views hasn't been all that good, because it's like, hey, if you getting if Great Khali's making $900,000, if that's and he getting almost $1 million for doing that, then please, why am I going to go out there and break my neck for something when I'm getting paid high six figures, almost 7 figures? Please. So that's my take on that.
Well, I just want to say one thing on DX though. When I saw it up there, who do you think which DX was better? Because I think people compare it sometimes. There was Shawn Michaels where they were doing their whole thing, and then there was Triple H's. Who's more?
There was 3 DXs for me.
Okay,
there was the original.
If you're gonna count Billy Gunn and Road Dogg.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to count it because
they
you
were
have to hold
separate.
on. You had Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Shawn Michaels got hurt, and then you had Triple H, X-Pac in China, and then you had Triple H, X-Pac, and the New Age Outlaws. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, the originals, they were good. They were funny.
The reason why they got the WWE over WCW.
No, they were the beginning. They were the beginning because it's like, wow, okay, all right. And they started doing things that people started to take notice, but they didn't overtake WCW yet. It wasn't until after Shawn left it was just like, and everyone said it. You thought Triple H, like whatever, he's a sidekick. Yeah. I thought the same thing. It's like, oh, he's a sidekick. He's trying to do what Shawn Michaels did. It's just not going. But then we added X-Pac. It was like, okay, it was cool to see X-Pac. And X-Pac said Hogan sucks and stuff like that and whatever. But it still wasn't good enough. But when you added the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn into the mix of DX is what skyrocketed. So Triple H, and notice that's when you got, for the thousands in attendance, for millions watching, let's get ready to suck it. That's when you got the you didn't know, where he said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Rex finally begins, it's tag team half of the world! And then he did that, and then you had Billy Gunn do his, and if you're not down with that, suck it. I would think, what, X-Pac ain't do nothing. But that was the pinnacle and the hype because it had fan involvement. So Triple H was getting the fans involved. Billy Gunn was getting the fans involved. Road Dogg was getting the fans involved. So therefore,
if you get the fans involved, you're gonna be able to get over.
Therefore, that part of D-Generation X, the last version of D-Generation X and the Attitude, was better than the Triple H and X-Pac, better than the Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
I just want you to know, so ever since whenever Triple H and Shawn Michaels got back together, it was always Triple H who looked like he was in charge because he knew how to roll with it, even though it wasn't as good, or as what people say, as good as they originally were. It was still good enough.
It wasn't. Yes, it'll never be. Even though they tried to recapture that, and for somewhat they captured. I mean, you can always wring out a rag and get some type of water to fall out of it, but it'll never be like how it was because again, if they didn't entertain you, you knew The Rock was going to entertain you. If The Rock didn't entertain you, you knew Stone Cold was going to entertain you. So one of the three entertained you. Yeah, if it wasn't for the New Age Outlaws being the DX would have never been as big as it was.
DX Army.
So that's about it for right now. So for Stephen J and for Simply Steve, we are done talking about wrestling. We will see you next week, and hopefully I won't be eating. You know what? Next week my schedule's late too, so I may be eating again. Peace.